All right, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another evening with the Rockwall Veterans Business Alliance, and we have Mrs. Kelly Hornsholt here with us, and she is a former past president of the Lone Star CASA, which our mission tonight is going to be to discuss CASA, the mission, what they need from us, how we can help, and what they do in the Rockwall and Kaufman counties. But first, I want to introduce our business of the week. Our buddy over at Boss Tent, his name is Jason Cantalone. He's a U.S. Army veteran. We won't hold that against him, but he does phenomenal work. I am a big fan. I took my wife's car. He did the tent on it. I was blown away. It made the car look totally different. Referred one of my neighbors, did an awesome job. He called and said, thank you for the referral. Anyway, so the guy does cars, boats, ATVs, whatever you need.
Your house. He can
Yeah,
do your
he
house.
does home. So if you've never considered getting your windows tinted at home as opposed to solar screens, go ahead and reach out to Jason over at Boss Tent. Phenomenal guy, great service, and really takes care of his people there. So
Hey, let me tell you something
yeah,
else. Let me tell you something about Jason. Um, that guy is so humble and so kind. And, you know, I'll give you an example. I went in there to get some work done on a vehicle, and I actually ran into my doctor there who was having one of his vehicles worked on. And he's got some products there that'll blow you away. For example, if you're worried about having like dark tint on your house, he's got clear tint products that cut UV and heat by like 80%, and they're clear. And he's putting them on like front windshields. You know how you're always getting baked by your front windshield. And I asked him about it. I was like, man, why didn't you upsell me on that? And he's like, well, that's just not how I do business. I want the customer to be informed, but I don't want to be pushy. And I'm telling you, I've been very impressed by this young business professional here in our community.
solid dude, solid dude. We're gonna bring in Mr. Aaron Withrow real quick and let him join in for this evening. So as we get started, as you know, we do this once a week, every Thursday at 6 p.m. We jump in, we talk about different things. So what I want to let you guys know is we have a little bit different mentality going into July. July is going to be our superhero month. It kind of goes with the CASA superhero run and some of those things. But what we're going to do is we've picked out 5 new topics, and we have 5 guest speakers that are going to join with us. And some of the people that we are some of the characters that we're going to be dealing with and talking about are kind of the likes of Batman and Deadpool and Iron Man and the Hulk and Doctor Strange. And we're working with the chamber right now to start pushing out a cool marketing setup for all of these topics. And it's not only going to be a fun thing to do to kind of tie these in with different superheroes, but we want to make this a little bit different. We're going to bring in a guest speaker every week. So you stop looking at our ugly mugs every week. So without further ado, Mrs. Kelly Hornsholt, thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to let you do your thing for as long as you would like.
All right. Well, thank y'all very much for having me. This is different. I'm used to talking to people, so I'm going to use my hands, and that'll look weird on the screen. But
no, we all do.
We really appreciate the partnership with the RVBO. Last year, y'all helped us with a backpack drive, which was extremely successful when the first part of May, which was awesome. We look forward to a continued partnership. But just some background. I am past president of the Lone Star CASA. CASA is Court Appointed Special Advocates. We started in Rockwall in 1992. So we've been serving the Rockwall community and the kids in the community for 27 years. We added the Kaufman County to our services in 2004. So since that time, we have covered kids in need in both counties. CASA. So what we do is we train volunteers that then are court appointed by the judges in Rockwall and Kaufman County to work with children that have been removed from their homes for abuse or neglect. Some of these children may be caught up in the criminal process as well, but this is strictly a civil action where the child has been removed from the home. So we're talking about kids from infants up to 18. They'll age out at 18.
Wow.
What a CASA does is meets with the child once a month, talks to teachers, talks to foster parents, talks to adults in that child's life, and reports back to the court what's going to be the best resolution for the child. Our goal is always a placement back in the home. That's a successful conclusion, is a placement back. Sometimes the children are adopted out. Sometimes, unfortunately, they stay in foster care, or they may stay in a home. And some of the children stay with us till they're 18. So that's what we do. Currently, I'll give you an idea of how our numbers have changed. In 2010, Rockwall and Kaufman, the Lone Star CASA, we had 2.5 staff members. And as of now, we have 5, hiring a 6th. Volunteers in 2010, we had 36 trained volunteers. Today, we have 110. We have 19 additional volunteers in training. So we're looking at the end of the summer, we'll have about 120 trained volunteers in both counties. In 2010, CASA assisted 81 children in the counties. In 2020, year to date, 2020, we have 230 children that are being served.
Wow.
Total year for 2019, kind of give you an idea of numbers year over date. In 2019, for the calendar year, 285 children were assisted in both counties. The need is growing. Part of that is our population has grown. So we just have more people coming into the community. One phenomena this year is the COVID, which everybody's experiencing differently. One thing to remember, and that child abuse didn't stop when the COVID started. What did stop is adults' ability to see the abuse taking place. So there is a strong potential that, since children have not been going to school, not been going to extracurricular activities, and been sheltering in place with their parents, we anticipate that we're going to see an upswing in children that are going to be removed from their homes for abuse once the children start going back to school, going back to activities.
Kelly, let me ask you a question real quick. With that being said right there, I know that you guys and your volunteers aren't actually in the homes now, but are you seeing an uptick in any form or fashion currently?
Well, we had a removal yesterday, and since March 1st, we've had 30 removals.
Wow.
So there is an uptick. We really anticipate more of a tidal wave, just that the kids just aren't getting into the programs where other folks can see them. Now, since our volunteers that have been assigned to a CASA, or a CASA been assigned to the child, they are starting to revisit the children that are in foster homes.
Oh, good.
And during this period when we haven't been able to see, it was like 2 months that we were restricted from seeing kids. We were doing confetti boxes, birthday boxes for kids, adoption boxes, Zoom meetings, checking on kids, but we weren't allowed to come into the houses. So that's kind of where we are. And my pitch for what we need money. Like all nonprofits, we need money. The money we use is to train our volunteers. The volunteers go through 30 hours of initial training, and then every year they have to do additional training. Our staff members oversee the volunteers. These volunteers have to write reports that ultimately are submitted to the court. So we have to train them and make sure that we are following the legal process accordingly and doing what the court needs done and representing the best interests of the child. Okay. So it's 30 hours of training, and currently it's all being done through Zoom. When we get the virus behind us, there will be in-person training. You go to the courts. So money, always need money. I need volunteers.
What type of volunteers?
Several areas. First, need volunteers to come to our events. Come to our events, volunteer at the event, participate in the event, learn about the event. Our two upcoming events we have is our August 22nd.
Yep.
CASA shoot aimed to end child abuse. It's going to be at the Rockwall Gun Club. It's going to be October the 22nd. So if you'd like to participate, form a team of 4. Did I say August? I did say August. Okay, good. August 22nd. 4-person teams. If you'd like to sponsor, there's sponsorship opportunities. Those are still open till the end of July. If you want to put a 4-person team together and come out and shoot, great. If you want to come and be a part of the event, I need bodies on the ground to help run the event.
Well, Kelly,
Yeah, and
we don't say bodies on the ground when talking about a gun event.
Oh, okay.
We need boots on the ground. We need boots.
Boots. We'll take boots.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
All right. With that being said, I put a link in the comments section where you can sign up at a Sign Up Genius. Right now, just so we're transparent, we have 13 out of the 50 spots filled there. So we would love to have you. I mean, most of the people that end up watching this, if you know us personally, call us. We can get you hooked up with that. We can get you set up, whatever. Just let us know. We'd love to have you help out.
Absolutely. So other ways you can volunteer. Volunteer to serve on the board. We currently have an 18-member board, which is a very active board. We work in the community. We work to get awareness out and to raise funds for these kids. If you have the heart for the service, become a trained CASA volunteer. And I can stress, we've talked about this everywhere I go, we need strong men to be CASA volunteers.
Can I jump in on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, like 68% of our inmate population in the state of Texas grew up in a one family or no family home. Okay, for a lot of these CASA children, the role model that they have because their biological parents are struggling with the diseases of drug and alcohol addiction or family violence or something else. So somebody like Kelly or Doc or Aaron or Jeff, you know, a wholesome, good person who can bring some light to this child's life as a CASA advocate, because you're a whole lot more than just an agent of the court. You really become a mentor, and almost in many ways, especially when these cases do go on to adulthood till they age out of the foster system when they're 18 years old. These people have known their CASAs almost their whole life. They know their CASAs better than they ever knew their biological parents in some cases. So yes, it requires strength, but it has to be, you know, there's a need. And like Kelly has said, there's a need for male volunteers, which are not that many. It's that's not saying anything about anything. Just there's definitely a need for that. That's a gap that needs to be filled in this organization.
What's the process? So if I find, say, myself or other gentlemen that want to be a part of it and want to start this volunteer process and want to be that mentor, I know we heard that there's 30 hours of training that needs to be conducted. But are there disqualifiers, like background checks are going to be submitted? You guys are kind of dive into the details of what it really takes for that man to be able to participate as a volunteer, and what qualifies them and then what might disqualify them.
Okay. Well, let me say we have 2 upcoming information sessions that interested parties can come to and just get more information before starting a session. So July 7th at 6 p.m. and July 30th at noon. All of these are being done by Zoom. You can go to our Facebook, the Lone Star CASA Facebook and webpage for information about the upcoming information sessions. Our next training block will begin August the 27th. That's when the 30 hours of training is taught.
What's that second date again, Kelly?
For the information session, July 7th and July 30th.
30th at noon.
At noon. And then the actual training session starts August 27th.
And to add to that, just know, because I've talked with Kelly a little bit about this, if you're truly interested in it, it is a commitment from the start. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, if now is not the good time, and I'm speaking from personal experience right now, I would love to drop everything I'm doing and just be a CASA trained advocate. But if now's not the time, maybe it's the next chapter in your life. But if you truly have the time, the selfless service that you'll gain from this, you probably can't put anything next to that that's worth it. So make sure
Agreed.
you go check out those informational sessions on the 7th and the 30th. And if you're really in for it, hey, gung ho, let's go do
Yep.
it. You know what I mean?
And Doc, a background check is required for all volunteers, board members, volunteers, any adult in the program, there is a background check.
As there should be.
Yes, we are all checked.
Good stuff. So tell us a little bit about the clays for CASA and why it's so important.
So the clays for CASA, we usually, in a normal year, we have 3 major fundraising events. Last year we had the 5K, superhero 5K run.
Mhm.
And in May we have Cars for CASA. And then in August we have our clay shoot. Given the virus situation, we've had to postpone our clay shoot till October 11th of this year. But our fiscal year is September to August. So our only fundraiser in our fiscal year for 2000 will be this clay shoot.
Okay.
Everything else fell into 19 or will fall into 21.
And if you had to put a number to your goal, first off, how many volunteers do you need? Rough estimate.
Rough estimate, let's go with 55.
Okay. So all of us on here are doing our damnedest right now to fill those 55s. So let's talk money. How much is your goal to raise for this clay shoot?
We would like, personally, I'd like to raise 40,000.
Okay.
Now, let me put that in perspective. Our Cars for CASA, which we couldn't hold this year, raised 87,000.
Okay.
So even if we can raise 40, we're not filling the gap for the fiscal year.
Yeah.
We have, and now, like other organizations, we budget cut it. Our expenses are down,
Yeah.
but that's kind of showing where we're gapping. But
Let me
we're
add to
working
that
to just-
because the RBBA has been a partner with the Lone Star CASA for, I would say, going on 2 years now.
Yep.
And we did the backpack drive last year, whatever. And getting to know these guys and these gals that are actually advocates and on the board and stuff like that, I'll tell you from personal conversations I've had with them, a good majority of them pull money out of their own personal pockets to make sure these kids have what they need. When these kids are picked up from the home, and you hear Casey and I talk about this very often, they leave with nothing but the clothes on their back and a backpack if they got it from us, or even a trash bag. So,
Yep.
Whatever you can do, financial, help is always amazing. But keep in mind that the money side of it is a short-term thing for CASA. What we're trying to boost the mission and let people know, volunteering your time,
Yes.
that is the most important thing that we're trying to shoot for, because the money will come. People will come and volunteer their funds, but we really want to fill this up. And if you're an RBBA member, I would challenge you to sign up for this. We're talking 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock. If you're not going to shoot on a team, like I've purchased a team for me and some pals, we're going to go shoot. But if you're not going to shoot on a team and you're an RBBA member, as a chair for this organization, the co-chair and the vice, whoever's on this thing here, we challenge you individually to sign up and come join us and support this cause, because this is one of the biggest things we do as the RBBA.
And I promise it's going to be a fun day. We're going to have a
Absolutely.
good time.
What do you got, Aaron?
I'm going to go ahead and throw on my American Legion hat. The American Legion will be there in proud support as well. Literally throw on the hat. Legion will be manning the stations as well. So we're going to be providing some of those volunteers. Now, let me ask you a question. As far as outside of the normal fundraising through team support, we're also going to have a raffle, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so let me add
Yes, we
to
have
Jeff's
raffle.
challenge.
Thank you. Yeah, I have raffle tickets. Yay.
Yeah. So let me add to Jeff's challenge. In the RVBA, we have quite a few makers out there. I'm an amateur maker myself. I love working with wood, but guys like Byron, BJ's Custom Woodworks, if you're a maker, if you do things like, I bought this off a raffle, this distressed flag, huge fan, those
Yes.
things help raise money for CASA. So if you're sitting in a shop, if you've got something unique, maybe you make homemade knives, that's also a challenge for you out there, for you makers in the RVBA. Get us some things that maybe you would be willing to donate to the raffle that help raise that money. flag might cost $50 at the store, but that could raise $500 in a raffle. And it's all going to such a great cause. So let me plug
And
that.
services. And if anybody services, we can, if you're
Services.
interested in doing something along those lines, let me know, please. Reach out and we'll hook you up any way that you would like to participate. And
I'm going to throw out 2-hour gun lessons at the Rockwall Gun Club.
all right,
Private
I'm
gun-
writing it down.
Write it down.
You're on the list.
Is this being recorded?
Yes.
Dang it. Okay.
No take you back.
Doc, you look like the wheels are spinning up there, brother. What are you thinking, man?
Free roof?
My wheels are always spinning, Jeff.
I know. I know.
They even spin in my when I sleep. But so I was just thinking a little bit more about this volunteering and becoming a little bit more active in the CASA. And I'm trying to wrap my hand around. All right, I volunteer. As you guys know, I'm not that busy of a person, right? So I have a ton of extra time on my hands.
Sarcasm noted.
As a volunteer who really wants to be a part of it, what would somebody look like in a year's capacity of time? Like how much time does it really take from a person so that we can have a better understanding? You know, like,
Okay.
oh, maybe 100 hours. Or like, oh shit, I can fit 100 hours in a year, or whatever it may be.
Okay.
Just when I'm talking to other people and they're like, well, what is the real commitment, right? Like, what are we really looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can help me better understand that.
Sure. So I'll go with being a volunteer, being a trained CASA. I think the biggest issue is going to be when in the day you have the time to volunteer, because court, and when you have to go to court or you have to go to mediations, those type of things, those will be during business hours. So there's that kind of limitation. In addition to the training, there's once a month visits mandatory with the child, and not all the children are located in Rockwall. Some of our volunteers actually drive to different sections of Texas. I think someone drives to Houston. Now, when you're that far, you don't have to go once a month, but they don't expect all the kids to be right here.
Yeah.
So you've got that. Hour wise for those volunteers, I think it's going to depend where the case is, where you are in the process, how quickly you can write the reports. Because there is some of the office work that goes with it. Some of our volunteers pour in extra hours because they contact their kids a lot more. You know, they're FaceTiming with their kids. So
10 to 20 hours a month, roughly?
easy, very easy. Yeah. If you want to volunteer and work at one of our special events, be on the committee. If you want to be on one of our committees to plan one of our larger events, we're happy to have you. There'll be crunch time, like for the clay shoot, of course, the day of, 6 weeks, 2 months beforehand. We used to have the push. Before that, your hours would be minimal because it's not the focus as we gear up to the event. If you wish to serve on the CASA board, like I do and the others that do, kind of depends on what's going on. There currently are quite a few subcommittee meetings that we're all doing by Zoom. And we have a new executive director this year, Lauren Rowe, and Lauren is going through and we're restructuring some things to hopefully cut down busy hour work for board members. But that's it. It is a time commitment.
How
It could
far in
be.
advance are the scheduled court hearings and the mediation? It's not like a phone call the morning of and say, hey man, we need you there.
No, let me speak to that if I could, Kelly. I mean, one
Yeah,
of the reasons,
please do. You're in the court more than me.
not to steal your thunder or anything, but
No.
there's a reason why these things have to happen on a month-to-month basis, is because when a child is taken from a parent, the Supreme Court of our United States of America says that parent's got a right, a constitutional, fundamental right, God-given right to raise that parent. And if the state of Texas is going to intervene in somebody's God-given right, the right to raise their child as they see fit, they got to move quick to determine fitness. And that's why CASAs are critical, because that is a resource that the state of Texas, every county in Texas is looking for tax dollars right now. And court appointed special advocates lifts up a lot of resources because that is not government funded, right? That is a private organization, so that's basically us. We're all paying taxes, but we're giving more than just taxes to lift up CASA so they can serve our community better. And so these hearings in these cases that determine where these children are going to go through this foster program, they have to be started within so many days of the kids coming into the house or out of the house.
Okay.
And they have to be concluded within about 12 months. Occasionally, it can go a little bit longer than that. So you're going to court on a CASA case once a month, unless coronavirus happens. But you're going once a month, and you're reporting to the court on your cases on a regular basis. So these CASAs.
Now, are they scheduled out? Are they?
Yeah, they're scheduled. You'll get this. I mean, they'll be scheduled out almost all the way from the beginning of a case. You'll know when your final hearing date is. And I mean, it sometimes it can move around a little bit, but
like Doc was saying, you're not going to get a phone call that morning.
you're not going to get a phone call the day of. There's going to be, and there's lots of workarounds. I have seen rarely, and maybe I should almost say never. I don't know if I've ever seen a CASA appear by telephone, but I know that attorneys sometimes appear by telephone at some of these meetings. And of course, with, the new normal, we're all doing things on Zoom and on TV now. The burden is not so hard as it once was about going to the courthouse and being stuck there all day to report on your case.
Yeah.
Because now when the court calls that case, that CASA advocate is sitting at home. You just got to be doing the newscaster thing, right? You're working from home. You got your mullet, right? Your party on top. And I said that backwards, but you know what I mean, right? You got your dress shirt on, and you could be wearing your Snoopy pajama pants and no one would know. But it does take a lot of the burden. But yeah, Doc, your question, you will get a lot of notice about when these things are coming. Yeah. And where to be and what have you. So nothing will be a surprise, especially after you've done one case, because it just gets a little bit easier.
Okay.
And if there is something we do, that is the CASA casework supervisor, the paid CASA employee will appear if there's an issue with the volunteer getting there. I mean, they will go in. So you have backup. And if they're gone, the executive director goes.
I see.
So we cover it.
Have you ever seen the children reunited with the parents after they've been removed?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that
yes?
Common,
that does happen. I couldn't give you percentages, but it does happen. And if you go to our Facebook page, we're now posting some of our adoptions and success stories, because confidentiality is huge with the families. Right. But at that point, they give us permission. Right. And you can see some of the celebrations as families are reunited and the kids get to go to a permanent home.
And the end result is to bring them all back together, right?
That's the mission.
Well,
yes,
and
mission.
I can speak to that. My sister has a couple of families that the process isn't going on the mission, but the amount of drive and the amount of effort and the steps that they've taken to try to reunite. She has a couple of kids from her church that she took in, hooked up with the Collin County CASA, because that's where this whole thing takes place, but they're living with her. The things that they have done to try to reunite the kid, it's quite amazing. The programs that they put the parents in, the types of steps that they've done to make it a safe place and a safe home. The many, and this is a 2-year process right now, attempts to get those kids back in the house. That is the mission, to get those kids back in. They don't stop. It's not like, oh, well, we gave it a few months. It's probably not going to happen. We'll figure something out. They keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and try to get the parents back in line to make it a family unit. Because I think what Casey said is pretty powerful. How many inmates do we have in the system that came from that environment?
Yep. And one thing Casey said that I want to just expand on about the funding, we do apply and get some government grants. So some of our funding does come from the government, but we're governed by Texas CASA, and to stay in good standing with Texas CASA, only a certain percentage of our funding can come from those government grants. The rest of the money has to be raised locally and through independent grants. So I believe that the ratio is like 60%, no more than 60%. We're well below that because of the wonderful community we're in and all the generous folks that understand the need and the mission.
So we'll talk offline about this, but our friend James Kennard with Action Pest Solutions brought up to me that he would like to help by doing a CASA pancake breakfast at some point.
Perfect.
Right now, I think with all this Rona crap that's going around, I think we're going to table that for right now. But you can definitely put that into our 2020 game plan, Kelly, for us to do that. And everything we make from that will go directly to you guys, exactly like we did with the backpack drive. I just wanted to publicly say that so that way it puts a little merit to it, puts a little fire up under our butts to make it happen. But keep in mind, everything that's taking place right now, people don't want to be around food and open, whatever.
Yeah.
But put that down as something that the RVBA will do for CASA next year.
What about an all RVBA car wash?
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk off topic about some options because all the input is welcome. We love that. I mean, all of us sitting here, all four of us, helped put together the backpack drive last year, and it was a phenomenal success. And that's brought to you strictly by the community. All we did was pump it up through social media. Really, who came to the party was the community, and we can't thank you guys enough. So at this point, Kelly, do you have anything else that you would like to, share about CASA or let us know what we can do? I mean, you've covered some things about needing volunteers for events, board volunteers, committee volunteers, and obviously the main important was the trained CASA, advocates there.
Some other things, if folks in their own companies want to do smaller projects, of course, like I said, these confetti boxes we're putting together. Reach out to me and I'll explain it. But the confetti boxes, we're putting together little celebration packages for, we've done high school graduation, reunifications, adoptions, birthday boxes. We try to get all of our kids a birthday box during the birthday months, and those are put together by volunteers. If you're interested in putting some of those together, or if you want to donate strictly for that, let us know. Gift cards. If anybody wants to collect gift cards, always in need of gift cards from like Walmart, Target, any of those kind of box stores, and a value of like $15 to $50 because we use them for different, that dollar amount. If we have a volunteer that comes in and needs to purchase something for a child, we can give them the gift card to go get it.
Okay.
So any of that type thing, if there's any questions, please direct folks to me. I'm happy to answer your questions. Check out the Lone Star CASA Facebook page, website, lots of good information. If you have any questions, call the office. Lauren Rowe is the executive director. She's happy to answer any questions.
What's that number, Kelly? Do you know that number off the top of your head?
Number all over the place, right?
Say again.
Just flash your cell phone number all over the place, right?
No, not the cell phone.
Not my cell, please.
No, you're asking.
Yeah, that'd be the one thing I don't have in front of me.
That's all right. We'll find it out. We'll put it on here.
So, and we are selling raffle tickets for the clay shoot for a Beretta A300 Sporting 12 gauge.
Ooh.
So these are available for purchase. I've got these 20 for 1, 100 for 6. And we will have these until they're gone. So get them because they're going fast.
All right, put me down. I'll take $200 worth.
Excellent. I'll talk to you offline and get your check.
Can I Zelle, Venmo you, Cash App, Apple Pay? What you take?
I don't even know how to do this Facebook stuff. So it's a check.
You got to go slow with Kelly. We just got her hooked up with some technology in the last year.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and you're
she would be happy living in Arkansas with a beaver at the lake house. She'd be happy with that.
Very happy.
Well, Kelly, we appreciate you. I mean, everything you do for CASA in the community, I think it goes without saying. I can speak for the boys here. We appreciate you. We love partnering with you guys. It's one of our main focuses within the RVBA, aside from the business things that we do. So we're all here for you. We're pushing for you. We're going to do everything we possibly can to fill the roster spots and everything. So thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Can't wait till we can meet in person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to have the mask. I got the new one here.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
All right, Kelly. So if you got to split, you can. If not, you can stick around and hang out. We're probably going to chat about some other RBBA stuff.
Okay, I'm just gonna step out.
All right.
Y'all
Thank
have
you,
a good
Kelly.
weekend. Happy 4th.
Appreciate
Thank you for everything you do, Kelly. Happy 4th.
Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye.
All right, so that was awesome. We got a little bit of detail and some information on the CASA board. I saw Doc's head spinning. My head was spinning last week when she came to the Legion dinner and was saying the same thing. And man, if I had the capacity right now to really do it 110%, I'd be all in. But that would mean that I have to step back from the RVBA and the Legion. But man, you guys know this is an important topic, so challenge ourselves to just kind of jump in and do what we can. The Sign Up Genius has been pretty helpful. A lot of people don't do it or haven't done it yet, but it's there. And if you're not going to do a team, let's get your asses out there and let's get volunteering. And that's for you,
Yeah.
RVBA members. All of you guys on this sheet. I hope
You know
this-
what? There was a couple of years ago, I had a buddy. I used to volunteer building houses with Dallas Habitat for Humanity. And, you know, he was in a different financial place. And, you know, he was like, hey, man, I really can't do that. I can't afford, because it cost, I don't know, how, $150, $200 a day to go out there and build. You know, they need to cover basically the cost of the materials you're going to use, and they need to raise money. And the thing about it was, he was telling me about a charitable organization that he participated in. He was like, this is a great one. You ought to do it with me one day. I challenge you to do it with me one day. And the reason why he did it is because he could just show up. And, you know, you can always make more money. The only resource that you are ever given on this earth that you can never get more of is time. And that's why so many people are impressed when charitable giving is giving of your time. Time you will not get back with your kids, your family. You're not going to be fishing or, you know, downloading and binge watching Breaking Bad for the 9th time on Netflix or whatever the hell it is, you know, riding motorcycles in South America, dicking off. But you know what I'm saying though? And so if
No, right on, man.
if that's a appropriate, you know, if donating your time, coming out there, I mean, you're gonna be at a gun range shooting clays and helping people shoot, making people having a good time, making sure they're hydrating and shooting the breeze with this group. And it's going to be a dynamic group of really awesome folks.
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, so if that's, we know that the coronavirus has upended the economy for a lot of people. And if money ain't what you got right now, we need your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen.
You have to quit rioting and protest and come volunteer at CASA, right?
I will say that. So Kelly's got me kind of coordinating the volunteers. So the day of, we'll be doing the safety brief, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you've got any questions as far as what's happening on the volunteer side, feel free to reach out to me. Hit me up on Messenger.
I volunteer to shoot your Kel-Tec again. Would you please bring it?
That will be there this year. There will be some fun events. There's going to be a long shot. There's going to be a flurry, an official flurry. If you've never done a flurry, that is where they will launch 8 to 10 clays. Just click, 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 and you are bang, bang, fun.
How does that
Super
work
fun.
when a shotgun only holds 2 and 1?
Exactly. You've got to ramp it. So it's bang, bang, fold, click. The 2 pop out, 2 back
That's a
in.
perfect Kel-Tec shot then. So,
But
hey,
it's shotguns ready to shoot.
hey, Withrow, do you have a list of volunteers that you have signed up currently?
Yes, I do.
Can you get that to me then offline so we can kind of consolidate those, because the Legion is doing it, the RBBA is doing it, and obviously you're helping out with that. So you and I, let's bump heads.
Is
Okay.
there an age limit? Like you have to be 18 to volunteer? You can
Nope.
be 16 to volunteer?
It's a safety role. If the parent is comfortable, we will give all the safe. Let me just go ahead and break it down by the numbers. The day of the volunteer, we can put anybody in any position, whether it's delivering water, you know, getting people out there to make sure that people are properly hydrated, or manning a station. The station itself, it's super safe. You're behind the firing line. You're given a set of instructions. The shooters are given a safety brief. The station sponsors are given a safety brief. And the reason that we're asking for so many volunteers this year is we want to have 2 people per station. That really kind of helps keep the flow so you don't have one person that's kind of overwhelmed. It's nice having an extra set of eyes to make sure that people have barrel safety, that we are not walking around with loaded weapons, things like that. So 2 people per station really makes it a fun event.
Going forever. They probably need to go do some work.
Go ahead. I stepped on you, Doc. What'd you say?
We have all these damn teenagers that ain't been to school in forever. They probably need to go do some damn work.
I'll take it. I'll take it
I
all day long.
got the devil pup. He's on the team with me. He's going to go shoot. So, I mean, we all understand the importance of safety with this. And as you can tell, Aaron's an instructor. We got some other friends that are instructors. Safety is paramount here. So if you're concerned with being at a clay shoot, it's not a lollygag. I can guarantee you that it's a ton of fun, but there will be times where safety comes and people will put you in check. So if you're being a jackass out there, someone's going to put you in check. So just know that.
I'll put it by example. Firearm safety it's a huge responsibility, but I have met Caden. That is a respectable, knowledgeable, polite young man that has proper respect for the tool, which is a firearm. And he's taught that by his father. It is not an animate object that's going to come to life and do bad things. It is only a tool designed by the user. And that young man, I will take on the gun range any day of the week because he is polite. He is fun to be around, but he knows safety. He knows how to be a young man.
Not looks like a hippie right now.
Young man. But I'll give it to you, man. You raised a good son. He's a cool kid.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, you boys have any RVBA stuff you wanted to? Oh, let me bring one thing up real quick. So I sent out a post, I don't know, a few days ago about show of hands, kind of who wants to do an RVBA in person or whatnot. I got a lot of yeses, and I got 1 or 2, and maybe, okay, we'll stay at home then. But we're still kind of working with the chamber to understand what the next step is going to be. Obviously, we have our first real back to meeting in August. We were going to try to squeeze one in here in July. So bear with us on that, because what we have to do as a leadership team is make sure that we're staying in line with the chamber's mission, right? We don't want to go off and go rogue and do our own thing. So I'm working with Darby to make sure that, if we do something, now with the state mandate of masks or whatever, I think people are going to be less likely to be involved, but our leadership team here, we'll talk offline and do something. We'll figure something out. I don't know what that's going to be for the month of July. So bear with us. We miss the hell out of being in these meetings, just like y'all do. I mean, if it was up to us, I think we've converted Casey to the dark side. I think he would do a public meeting with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. And just so you guys know, we're being as responsible as we can.
Absolutely.
Place that we picked out for a meeting potential. In fact, I already ran some traps on it, was the Londoner in their beer garden. And yeah, it's August and it's hot, but we're from Texas, so cowboy the fuck up, or cowgirl the fuck up, as it may be. And the thing about it though is that beer garden is massive. And even if we had our pre-coronavirus turnout, which would be sometimes as many as 60 or more people, in that beer garden, we could easily socially distance, and it does get cool at night, even in August.
Mm-hmm.
So we're, like Jeff said, we're gonna adhere to our chamber leadership. We're not going to be doing anything to make anyone feel uncomfortable, or making someone feel like we're pressuring you, to do X, Y, and Z. We're going to take whatever appropriate steps, and in accordance with what the chamber wants us to do. And so, like Jeff's email out to you, please reply to it. That's important information. We do want to know, because right now we're broadcasting, but it's very difficult to receive. Can't read the comments as they're popping up on the Zoom. They're popping up on Facebook, and so please respond back to Jeff's inquiry and let us know what you want regarding that, because another thing we want to do is we want to serve all of y'all. You know, I mean,
That's why we're here.
we're doing this.
Yeah. So, well, Doc, you got anything?
No, it's just strange times that we're in right now. And I think that we have a great team, a great leadership. We know how to adapt. We know how to overcome. We know how to be able to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. Most importantly, is we continue to stay consistent with our mission and our vision and our values. And we'll see a break in what we need to do. We'll all get back together to what we need to accomplish. I'm looking forward. We're opening up a larger space here by August. So I think there's a lot of great things to come. Patience is definitely a virtue. We got a lot of great info coming out over the next few months, courtesy of Jeff and some of the other people in the chamber. So just be patient with us, keep tuning in, and keep up the support. The CASA program is huge. I'm going to look into it a little bit deeper and see what I can do to help out. If it's not my time, maybe I can help out on some financial sides. But I love this program. I love this. I love these people that are a part of it, and I love to see growth and opportunity happen. So just keep it up.
Withrow, any closing arguments?
No, man, I think you, Casey, Doc hit it right on the head. All this is a ROE change. Rules of engagement have changed. Mission's still the same. So we're trying to help our businesses grow, thrive, prosper, band together as vets. They threw a little Frago, Corona, state regulations. You can do one of two things. You can sit back and idle out, or you can adjust the new ROE and move on accordingly. So that's exactly what's happening.
So thank you guys all for joining. I know every week, we got something new to talk about, and I love learning and growing with each one of you guys. Just remember that the Rockwall Veterans Business Alliance is not just for veterans. We are a patriot organization. We accept all veterans, patriots, male, female, even the Coast Guard. It's all good. So
even the Coast Guard.
We love it. So with that being said,
yeah, I felt that. ROE means rules of engagement. That's for big boys.
But at the end of the day, our mission is simple. We want to promote business success, whether you're a veteran business or a patriot business. We want to learn and grow from one another and give back as much as possible. So rock on.
Just remember, the Coast Guard is the closest veteran organization that's really a patriot organization.
Let me tell you a quick story. I'm at a lawyer's house today doing some work today, and I'm all, hey, my boy Casey Ashmore? He goes, the Coast Guard guy. I'm like, oh, well, he knew you as a Coastie, so you got some merit there, my friend. Anyways,
Apparatus.
We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. The last thing I'll close with today is on Saturday, the 4th of July Rockwall Parade is taking place. If you're scared, stay at home. You want to come and join, you want to get on a float, we got 2 American Legion trailers we're going to pull. Doc and I got trucks and trailers we're going to pull. Our Marine Corps League attachment is going to be on deck as well. So if you're comfortable with it and you want to get out and get some sunshine and run through the community and just say thank you and express your patriotism and your gratitude for this great country that we live in, jump in. We'll be behind the Utley football stadium. Will be taking off at 9:30. So if you want more information, hit one of us up. We'll let you know what's going on. But tomorrow's Friday. Today's $10,000 Thursday. Is that what it is, Doc?
You got it.
There you go, baby.
Thursdays.
Hey, y'all go kill it tomorrow, boys. Appreciate y'all joining us. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Simple.
Too much? All right. Damn it.